Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Blue Jay Acres. My name is Noelle. Thank you so much for stopping by. So today we're going to jump in and make some breakfast. We'll start off with that, and then we'll talk a little weight loss today, talk a little bit about my 6-month pantry challenge coming up. We'll check on Charles, just a few different things. But let's start with some breakfast. It's already going on 10 o'clock. Crazy busy morning already. But right now at our house we have an abundance of eggs and I have plenty of milk. So we're going to make some French toast. I have, pull it over, some homemade bread that I made over the weekend. Today is Tuesday, so I'm gonna just slice this up and we'll just have some delicious French toast. Let's get that made. So I made a bunch of bread and I sent a bunch with Brooke as well. Here's the end piece. She likes to make peanut butter sandwiches up at school. So I sent her a bunch of bread and stuff to make meatball subs and just a variety of things. She'll be back though this weekend again. So I'll stock her up again. Alright, so I like to use a bread knife, or I don't know, I guess it's a electric carving, to slice my bread. It just works really, really good. Alright, there we go. And these end pieces, I'm going to leave just sit out here to make some breadcrumbs. I'm going to let them dry out. And this little broken piece too. I'm going to let that all turn into breadcrumbs, so later today I'll use those for something. So let's go over to the stove. So let me turn this on a medium heat. And you're using the stainless steel, you want to do a medium heat so it doesn't turn, start sticking to the pan. I gave all my other pans to Ash because she does so much cooking. I gave my pots and pan set to her. So I have this stainless steel pans and I have cast iron in the house right now. So I'm going to use the stainless steel though to make this. Okay, so recipes like eggs are so easy, or French toast, or say some quiche or something like that. So easy to use these smaller eggs that are still too small to sell, and some are just from our bantams and they're gonna stay teeny tiny. So that's a great way to use these up, because right now we're getting probably 1.5 dozen a day of just small eggs that we can't sell. In total we're getting probably between 3 and 4 dozen a day right now. Okay, so vanilla, if you haven't been with me before, I always use vanilla bean powder. It's just dried, crushed vanilla beans. The flavor is unmatched. It's so much better than any kind of extract you could ever get. It is just amazing. The other thing I do different is when I make French toast, I'm going to put this on the top. I'm not going to put it in here because then it just, you don't get it on all the pieces, and some are heavy cinnamon, and I just like it to do it better that way. Now, if I had made butter from our cream, which I did not this week, then I would have just put buttermilk in here, because that works really good in the mix as well. But I'm going to start with just some melted butter, because you can never have too much butter. Alright, and then I like to just take my cinnamon and just sprinkle some on top, and when I flip it, I'll do the same. Alright, and then I like to turn them over before they're quite done, just a hair bit before they're all the way done, so I can sprinkle more cinnamon, and I'll flip them one more time. And then I like to top each piece with a little bit of butter. So here is the French toast, and then we'll make the topping. Okay, so here I'm going to start with just taking some cream off the top of our milk. That's probably enough. Alright, and then I am just going to start whisking it. Actually, hold on one second. I forgot to add a little bit of vanilla. Starting to thicken up, I'm just going to add a little bit of sugar. You could also add cinnamon to this if you wanted. Now, if I had berries, I would sprinkle some berries on top, but I don't have any berries right now. So I'm gonna add a little pure maple syrup. Now we buy our syrup in gallon size, big things from Azure. So I just put it in a little mason jar. You could also add some powdered sugar if you want. I don't know if Charles will be able to do a taste test or not. I'll have to ask him. Delicious. Fresh whipped cream like this, it tastes like ice cream. It's just, it's so amazing. So different than like a store-bought whipped cream. All right, we caught him in between meetings.
We did.
So he's got 5 minutes between now and his next meeting. So hopefully he can eat.
I will make time for this because I know it's going to be good.
This is one of his favorites. Perfect. You and Kate, this is your favorite. Now I won't eat this morning, but him and Kate will. They're both their favorites.
I have the toughest job at home.
He would love to do this full time. All right, go eat, baby.
I'm taking it with me.
All right, so talking about my breakfast and that I'm not eating that, it just doesn't sound good to me. Bread and stuff like that, it's iffy if I eat it anymore or not. But that's perfect time to kind of talk, do a little update on the weight loss. Okay, so the update. So I went to the doctor, it was about 2 weeks ago, almost 2 weeks ago now. And I had lost a total so far of 27 pounds. You guys have been asking about that. Last month I didn't do a weight loss update and really talk about it because I had a really bad month. So as you guys know, I'm looking down because I've got my medications. They put me on Zepbound last month, 7.5, where I was doing compounded, which is just its own little injection needle. I still have one of these left. I was on the compounded trizepatide on 5 milligrams. Well, they switched me over to the 7.5 Zepbound. So I'm gonna give my opinion on the two together. This is nothing like this. So they say it's the same thing, it's the same thing. It is not. And this is way stronger than this. At least in my body. It affected me totally different. Now, granted, I went up in doses. So how I ended up with both was because I had already bought my thing of this when they said that they had this in stock and it was completely covered by my insurance. So I ended up with both. Thank God I did. Because when I came home, I took one of these that first week. This made me so sick. The first time I took it, I was so sick. I felt like I had the flu. So I laid in bed for like 4 days, couldn't eat, couldn't drink. I was freezing. I really felt really sick, very weak, lightheaded because I wasn't able to eat or drink. Couldn't get anything, you know, by me without me going, ugh, no. And so the next week I decided, no, I'm gonna do this. So after I did this one, I was like, yay, I feel so much better. All's good in the world. And my mom and Charles were like, no, you gotta do this because your body just has to adjust. You've gone up in dose, your body just has to adjust. So I did a second dose of this. Well, let me tell you, friends, I was so sick. We thought we were gonna go to the hospital. I was in so much pain. When I started throwing up, I started to feel a little bit better, but anytime I ate, I was in so much pain that I was like, I'm done. I will never touch these shots again. I'm done with them. And the family talked me into staying on it because I need to get the weight off for my health. So I did another one of these the following week, and then it was time to see my doctor. So then when I saw my doctor, I said, that is not doing it for me. That's making me so sick. So she dropped me down to the 5 milligram. Well, I had trouble getting a hold of the 5 milligram, so I did another one of these. Up, here he is.
Clean plater.
Are you getting more? There's still like 3
Stop.
pieces.
It was so good.
Okay, came down and got hers too. So then anyways, I did another one of these because I couldn't get my hands on the 5 milligram of the Zepbound. So once I did, I was able then to start the 5 milligram yesterday. So I will tell you the difference in that is this was really starting to not work anymore. So like the last week, I was still pretty hungry. You know, I probably gained a little bit back because I was hungry and I really wasn't feeling any benefit from this one anymore. So I took this one yesterday and I did get tired. However, we haven't been having a lot of sleep at our house. So it's hard to tell if I'm just tired because of the shot or because of that. But it definitely helped decrease the appetite. Today, I feel good. I am not sick. My appetite is definitely low. I definitely have the quieted food noise in the head and all is good. So I think that this is gonna be a winner. I hit nauseous little pockets throughout my day, but they don't last long and they're not a big deal. I'm not in any kind of pain. I'm not, you know, throwing up or anything like that. So all is good with that. So I got a feeling this one, the 7.5, which I still do have 2 injections in here, I will probably be bumping up that in the next month or 2. But I'm just going very slow. I just got to do how my body is reacting. And the weight loss is very slow. And I know a lot of people are like, I lost 15 pounds in the first month. I'm not that person. I'm also older. So, you know, and I'm kind of going through the perimenopause, premenopause stuff. Now, all of that will affect it. So I'm okay though with losing weight way slower. I think it's healthier. I think it's more long-term, and I'm good with that. So as long as it's still working, I'm going to stay on the 5 milligrams before I go back to that 7.5. But this 5 milligram is definitely hitting different than this 5 milligram. So the compounded and the name brand are not exactly the same thing in my opinion, for those of you that are curious. But there you have it. That is my weight loss update and where I am so far. So thank you guys all for all the kind comments, commenting that you can tell that I'm losing weight. That is very sweet of you all. And thank you, because I am happy that I am starting to definitely, you know, I feel like I'm showing that I'm losing. So, all right. I'll see you guys in just a little bit. Let's go check on Charles now for a bit.
Good morning and welcome back to another episode of Blue Jay Acres. I'm Charles and so happy you guys are with us again today. We've got a very busy day, kind of leading into a busy weekend. In one of the last videos you saw us finish the indoor brooder coop for the new batch of chicks that we had coming in, mainly to allow us to start rotating. That got finished and chickens did get moved around, but I still have cows and pigs that need to get moved, and that is a job in itself, just getting the cows moved, because I need to find a good place where they've got decent forage to hold them over for a little while. I know they are going to just like moo at me like crazy while I get their fence line in. So I'm going to kind of combine 2 tasks together today to kind of make certain that they go a little smoother. One, I want to give them a little something extra to eat to keep them busy while I do their fence line. And 2, I need to get some raised garden bed space prepped and planted for carrots, lettuces, and all that cabbage, whatever it is we're going to end up planting. So before I do anything with those raised beds, I need to kind of take a page out of my lessons learned book and get all that grass cut down around that set of beds, so I can make sure I don't have repeat offender from my vole issue that ate so many of our potatoes over this past summer. So I'm going to get all it cut down, and I think I can combine those 2 birds with 1 stone simply by taking, and I'll cut it in between the raised garden beds. Most of it needs to be cut either with a string trimmer or a mower, push mower, because they're so close together. I can't get the riding lawn mower through most of it, which is fine, because I will use the bagging mower to get between those, cut all that grass clippings. I'll take it back to give the cows something to keep them busy They will absolutely love it. And then while they're grazing on all that, I can be putting in their new fence line. Now, I do suspect putting in their new fence line is going to be a pain in the rear end. It has been drought season here. It is crazy dry. The Weather Channel taunted us like multiple times yesterday. We'd look and it would be like 1%, 2% chance of rain for the remainder of the day, hour by hour. And then all of a sudden we would get these random pop-ups that said rain will begin. I think the last one I got said rain would begin around 9:59 p.m. And we had jumped from 11% to like 23% or something like that hourly. And then boom, it just disappeared just as quick as it came. So no such luck on the waterfront. But where I'm getting at with all that, I guess, is the poles are gonna be like hammering into steel. So, or concrete. Concrete is probably a better word to use. So, it's gonna take me a while to get that fence line in. I'm gonna go get the mower and I'm gonna get this video rolling and take you along with me, and hopefully you get some enjoyment out of today. Nope, still haven't worked on fixing the bad bearing. How's its better days? Still good gas in it. What'd you guys do to your upper line? You ready for a treat? There you go. They don't let you in very good, do they? You're still a bit of the outcast. You guys could have the luscious pasture available, and you'll still bring anything I bring you to eat first, because you're spoiled.
Okay, so next I thought I would talk about the 6-month pantry challenge. I came outside, so now I have a cat over there crying because I came outside. But I thought I'd talk about the 6-month pantry challenge. A couple of you had questions like, what about produce? What are you going to do for fresh produce? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I had mentioned that September and October I was going to do a stock up just to get anything else that I can think of that I need to last me 6 months starting in the end of October. and go through April without going to the store. The only thing that I will be buying or getting is my weekly milk that I get from the local dairy farm. I spend $133 a month for 4 gallons of raw milk each week, and that I will continue to do throughout that 6 months. But other than that, I'm not going to get anything. We're going to use what we have at the house, and I'll tell you why in a minute, why we're going to try that challenge and what's going on. However, I am not doing a stock up in September, so I'm only going to be doing October. We had a bunch of things break and happen. You know that old saying, when it rains it pours, the car, the dryer. I forget, there were some other things. Oh, our freezer went out, one of our freezers, just things that we had to replace and repair. So financially, it made sense to skip the September part of my stock up and move into just my October part of stock up. So why I decided to do that, oh, and the produce. So one of the main questions was, what about produce? So we are going to plant this week a lettuce bed, so a salad bed. It's going to have spinach and kale and lettuce, different lettuces. That will get us through a lot of our vegetables, fresh vegetables. We'll put a little like greenhouse plastic over top of it with some arches and try and keep it, you know, going as long as possible. And then I will get as much spinach and stuff as I can, and kale, and freeze it so that we'll have that to go into stuff. And then we're going to use what we canned and what we froze. So, I mean, we'll still have stuff coming out of our garden through October until I start the challenge. But then, yeah, it's eat through the pantry. I mean, that's what we'll be doing. So you will see in October, I'm going to get some frozen fruit. Like, we're out of berries right now. I don't have any frozen berries or fresh berries, which is fine because we have other stuff. Right now we have some apples, and I will get my October stuff, and then I also need to get some apples though as well. I want to get a couple bushel of apples so that I can have applesauce and make some apple cider and stuff like that. Just because that's what you like in the fall. You know, that's October for you. And November, honestly, both are wonderful months to have all that stuff. So why I picked a 6-month challenge is a couple reasons. Number one is to challenge myself to get a very clear picture of what we are actually going through. Because my girls do take a lot of food to college. I provide as much as I can for them. And our goal is to have year after year to, you know, can and preserve enough stuff to last a whole year. I would like to have grains to where I could have that to last just a year, and not have to just keep rebuying things. But I don't know. I haven't decided if I want to do it every 6 months or once a year. But the goal is to have a 1-year supply. Some grains are better if you get them every 6 months, like buckwheat and stuff like that. They don't do so great to go a whole year. But I have so many things that I also just need to go through. We have so many, and I don't want to waste it. So many grains and stuff that I've bought, like, oh, I want to try that. Like, I have rye flour, buckwheat flour, I have all my pasta flour. I have so many things. And so when you run out of the stuff you normally eat, it kind of makes you go into that other stuff, which is, I think, a wonderful idea. However, I know the popular thing to do in the YouTube world right now is everybody likes to do a January pantry challenge. And that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, because January I get new year, new you, new everything. Everything's in the new year, new year, new year. All the commitments, we're going to do this great. We're going to start our new budget. We're going to do all the stuff. I think that that's why people maybe pick January. But to me, it makes more sense to do it end of October, so that November and December, the money that we would have on groceries, we can then put towards the holidays. And then we're not stressed trying to figure out holiday money. And so to me, that just made more sense. And again, the 6 months, instead of just doing it for 3 and stocking up in January, the 6 months was because I want to truly keep track of exactly what we go through that we have, so I can have a very clear picture of, in a year, what we actually need to have. So how many canned tomatoes did we go through? What do I really need, you know? by just eating out of our pantry, what do I need to do better? Because I know I'm going to have lots of room for improvement because I've never done a challenge like this. But I think that's the best to get a realistic picture of what I need and, you know, to plan for the future. So that's why I picked that. That's what the 6-month pantry challenge is. Now, during that time, my goal, I always have a goal, right, is to share with you guys every day what I'm making. But you will see, like today I have no makeup on. I'm not a makeup wearer, actually. I rarely ever wear it, and that's one of the things that keeps me from posting on YouTube, is because I don't feel like putting on makeup and all that in the morning. I just kind of get up and my day starts. I shower at night, I get up, I throw my hair in a braid, and my day starts. I'm so busy during the day. Between just doing farm chores, homeschool, and everything else, is just, I'm very busy. And cooking everything from scratch definitely takes a lot of time. But I can imagine ever not cooking everything from scratch anymore, because it just is so much better. It doesn't even compare. You know, we're not worried about all the recalls and all the stuff going on in the world, because we're not buying any of that kind of stuff. So it's a very good peace of mind as well. So I'm going to try my hardest, though, to do every day. And, you know, some days will be great meals and some days are going to be really bad. But I want to encourage you guys to use what's in your pantry. If you want to follow in a pantry challenge, to do it, because that gives extra money for the holidays if you can. And also maybe it'll give you some ideas how to make tweaks to this and that, and figure out, okay, well, I don't have this, so I can use this. Or how to make stuff. You can always make everything from scratch. There's always a way to make it from scratch, almost always. Even baking powder. You run out of baking powder, there's a way to make it. There's a way to make everything. So, you know, I think that could be fun. And if that's something you guys want, make sure you stick around and subscribe if you haven't already, so that you can follow us along on that. All right, I figure we're gonna do one more thing today. I wanted to make 2 more things. Using up some of our milk, I wanted to make some cream cheese, which I actually haven't ever made before, but it looks so easy to do. I wanna give it a try. And I'm gonna make some ice cream so that they've got it in the freezer. As far as dinner, a few days ago, I made more spaghetti sauce, and I made meatballs and buns and bread and all that. So we made meatball subs, and then I cooked up some chicken breasts and put the leftover pasta sauce on that, and made some spaghetti, and we did like a chicken parm. So there's still left over that. So I'm really not going to cook much more today, but I did want to make the cream cheese, because tomorrow I thought we will make some jalapeno poppers, because I've got so many jalapenos right now that are ready. And I have not left you out of making ketchup. I just have not had time yet. We had all kind of testing up at the middle school for Luke, and it's IEP time. And so we've had meetings. We were on a meeting this morning at 7:30 this morning. So it's just time that, just stuff, life. But we still have a bunch of tomatoes. In fact, I picked a bunch more yesterday, along with a bunch more peppers. So hopefully tomorrow, let's see, tomorrow is Wednesday. I don't think I go anywhere or have anything going on. So tomorrow we should make ketchup, and I'll share that recipe with you guys. Sorry, I am very tired. I got very little sleep, so my brain is like not working good today. All right, so let's go make some cream cheese real quick, and then we're gonna make some ice cream. Okay, so the first thing it says to do is to heat a quart of milk. So a half gallon is about 2 quarts. So I'm going to do about half of my half gallon. We're going to heat this up to a boil. Now I did use my cream and everything, so this is a whole milk. You could skim the cream off if you're using a raw milk and you don't want to use the whole thing. It says that's fine, whichever way you want to do it. I have the cream to do it, so I'm just going to use the cream. The other thing is you can use store-bought milk. If you want to make your own cream cheese, you can do this with store-bought milk. When we make yogurt, probably going to be next week, because I really don't need yogurt this week. You can also, when I share that with you, and I've already shared it once, you can use store-bought milk for that as well. It does not have to be from a farm. It does not have to be raw. It can be pasteurized. It can be just whatever you get at the store. So If you want to make your own cream cheese, you can do the same thing. So we're just going to let this come up to a boil. That's number one. Okay, so while you're heating your milk up, you want to just give it a stir a little bit so you're not burning at the bottom. You can see this is getting nice and steamy. Once this comes up to a boil, we're going to add an acid. I'm going to use lemon juice. I think that's going to give the best flavor, but you could use apple cider vinegar, you can use white vinegar, whatever kind of vinegar you want to use. We're going to add 3 to 4 tablespoons of that after this starts to come to a boil. Alright, while we're waiting for this to finish coming to the boil, what I've read also is that this can double as ricotta cheese. Now we're going to whip it up and make it creamy for cream cheese. But if you don't and you just leave it a little bit more gritty, I guess, or you know, not as smooth, then you're looking more at a ricotta cheese. So it's supposed to be usable for both, which would be wonderful because then I can make a quick, easy ricotta and have that for when we have lasagna and stuff like that in the winter, which would be wonderful. Okay, as you can see, this is about ready to start coming to a boil here. I'm going to give it a stir just so it's not burning at the bottom. Okay, so now that it's coming to a boil, we're going to add I'm going to start with 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. You could use fresh squeezed lemon juice. I don't have any lemons. We're going to give this a quick stir. And then you already see it starting to happen. If you guys can look in here, let me move you in closer. If you move in closer, you can already see it starting to happen. It's starting to curdle. So that'll be our cheese curds. Now we're going to remove this from the heat. And we're going to wait 10 minutes and just let this do its thing for 10 minutes. Alright, so now it has been 10 minutes. So I'm going to pour this in some cheesecloth. You can see everything's out of there. And then we're going to just start straining this. This is the whey at the bottom. This is still pretty hot. Now this cream cheese, it says you really should use it though in like a week because it's not cultured. If you make a cultured cream cheese, then that lasts a lot longer. And to do that you need rennet and a couple other things for cheese making. And I don't really want to do all that. So until this cools off, I'm just going to set this in another little bowl. Save your whey. You can use that in cooking if you want to. It can replace water in recipes. This is full of protein. Your whey is. But you also might need a little bit to add to your cream cheese. But we will squeeze this as soon as that's cool enough to handle. Alright, this is cool enough now, so I'm just going to squeeze the cream cheese, the cheese curds. And this then is what you're left with. So in a bowl, I'm going to put that. I'm just going to kind of smash it down. I can definitely see how that would be ricotta. If you can look at that, that's very ricotta looking. We're going to add some salt. I got a feeling we're going to have to add some of the whey back in. Use my immersion blender. You can use whatever you want. Food processor, a Vitamix, just, you know, whatever to blend it up that you want to use. I can already tell you I'm going to add a little bit of this whey back in. Just for making yogurt, that's going to be too dry. So maybe not even do the second squeezing. Maybe I'm gonna need to use my immersion blender. Now that might have been too much. I don't know, that might be right. Okay, so maybe immersion blender is not the way to go. I think I'm gonna try my Vitamix. Because that's not the consistency I want for cream cheese. Again, it's my first time making it. We're just doing it together. Usually I'm gonna try the magic bullet because it's just not that much to make in a Vitamix. I don't know that it would work. Honestly, I think more whey needs to go in. So let me put this in here and we're gonna let this sit in the fridge to cool off. And then we'll try it when it's cold. I definitely had high hopes for this cream cheese. We'll see what it tastes like when it's cold. So far, warm, not a fan. Alright, now we're going to do our ice cream. So I just have 1.5 gallons of milk here. I'm going to take the cream off the top. Now you could use just plain old heavy whipping cream from the store and do the same thing I'm doing. You want about 1 quart of cream. So I'm just going to get all this cream off. So it takes for this about the cream off of about 1.5 gallons of milk to make ice cream. But you're going to use about 1 quart of cream and then 1 quart to 1/2 quart of milk if you're making this at home. That's good. Then I'm just going to add a little bit more milk. About like that. Then here I have 2 egg yolks. Yes, egg yolks are safe to eat raw, especially if they are fresh egg yolks from a farm. I'm going to add a little bit of our vanilla bean powder. I've got a little bit of this peppermint extract. I'm going to add about 3/4 cup of sugar. Now I'm using pure cane sugar. You could use maple syrup, honey, whatever sweetener you like. And then you also need a little bit of salt. And that's it. This is your ice cream. Comes together very easy. I'm going to add some chocolate chips at the very end. We're going to go on and just blend this up. Alright, and then just take a little taste to make sure it tastes like that kind of ice cream you want to eat. Because that's what it's going to taste like. Yep, that's pretty perfect. I'm going to put it in here. You don't want to get this out until the very last minute so it stays just as cold as possible. Put your little spinner in. Put your lid on. I'm going to turn this on. This is going to go for about 20 minutes. And then just fill this up. But in about 15 minutes, we're going to add the chocolate chips. That's pretty perfect. There's still some sugar down in here. Get that in there. Okay, so now it's been about 15 minutes. I'm going to add some chocolate chips. I just have a mix of mini and regular here. And pour them in, and that'll mix in for the next 5 or 10 minutes until the ice cream is done. Okay, so this now is done. Let's see if I can get this off. I'll have to get Charles to come be a taste tester. It's very much a soft serve ice cream. And then it'll go in the freezer and firm up for later. As you can see, it's just a very good soft serve type ice cream. I will get Charles to give me a taste test. I think it tastes wonderful. So the cream cheese. I think even maybe a little more whey. Again, this is my first time making it. So it's first time making it together. Okay, so, I mean, that would spread, and that'll go inside, I think, fine, of a jalapeno popper that I want to do tomorrow. I gotta play with it. I think maybe a little less lemon would be good, and see if it will still curd up, because the flavor still tastes a lot like a ricotta, which is wonderful, and I'm excited to have a ricotta, but I really do want to make a good cream cheese as well. Ricotta we do every year. We like to have a lasagna at Christmas. So this is a must. I need some ricotta to go with that. And it tastes like a really, really good ricotta. That's what I'll say for it. So if you want a ricotta, do what I did. If you want cream cheese, I'm going to keep working on it. And but for a first attempt, not bad at all. And tomorrow we'll use that, and we'll use the breadcrumbs, and we'll make up a jalapeno poppers. But let me get Charles. All right, so here's Charles. He asked if I used mint from the garden. I said no, I used mint extract.
And what was the first comment I had made about mint ice cream?
That it needs to be green, or it's just not right. But I'm not putting food coloring in.
It's not right if it's not green.
I told you I could chop up some spinach, juice up some spinach, and add it to it.
But then it wouldn't be ice cream anymore.
Yeah, it would. It would be green.
I'm gonna close my eyes and pretend it's green.
Come on, big baby, you can do this.
It's very good. It's green. It's green.
You're in a green bowl.
Breyer's ice cream isn't green.
I know. It's a little bit more natural, I guess.
Breyer's.
Well, now you do homemade.
I'm a big old ice cream baby. It has to be green.
It's not green. I promise. I'll add spirulina or spinach to it next time to make it green for you. In the blender. You'll get your green next time.
It's a mental thing.
Okay. Well, mentally it will be green. It just will have a little kick.
This is remarkably good.
Thank you.
For not being green.
Alright, you guys, there you have it. I'm going to wrap up today's video because it is 1:44 and I still got a lot to do.
Pause.
I want comments. Should mint ice cream be green? Yes or no?
Or is he just a big baby? Yes.
No, support me. It should be green.
All right, I'll see you guys very soon. Bye, everybody. Have a great day or night wherever you are.